It's the start of another day of Flinching Wizards. We should be looking into a way to maybe set ourselves up in a way that we can take these guys head on. That will be able to double, maybe even triple our kill speeds. I actually have a plan, and a part of that plan involves me currently being on a free-to-play server. This is ChunkWizard. He wants to explore the entire map of RuneScape, but what he doesn't know is that the map is divided up into chunks, and he needs to do every task within a chunk before he's allowed to move on to the next one. So come with me as ChunkWizard explores RuneScape one chunk at a time. So, do you guys want to hear something funny? Turns out that when setting up the Chunk Locker account settings, I messed up a little bit. And having fixed that now into the proper extreme one chunk rules, I have actually gained one more new chunk task. I used to have a chunk task to cast Windstrike because it involves processing runes at the lowest level possible. That is a mistake, something that I misclicked. I'm supposed to be processing runes at the highest level possible. So my level 1 Windstrike task, which I didn't even think was worth mentioning at all, has now increased to casting high level alchemy, a level 55 spell. Luckily, we're just going to naturally get a lot of magic experience off of killing the lesser demon. So it's unlikely to be a super active grind toward level 55, because by the time I get all my drops, I'll very likely be super close, or I will be getting super spooned. Somebody did tell me in the comments of the very first video that you can use Monster Inspect, if you're in a members world, I'm not right now, to gain 30.5 experience per cast with just 2 mind runes and 2 body runes, which is super cheap. But you might be thinking, you're not level 42, that's not gonna work. And that's actually where you're wrong, because there's a bug in the game which doesn't check for your level when you try to cast Monster Inspect for whatever reason. So that's part of the reason that, number 1, my mind rune stack is a little lower than you would expect it to be, and number 2, my magic level is a little higher than you'd expect it to be. Because part of being able to face tank these guys is going to be increasing my magic level. But there is a more important aspect to this, and for that, we need to go to the DPS calculator. So here in the DPS calculator, I want to just kind of take you through the options that we have. Right now, this is our loadout with these levels. So average time to kill on a wizard is about 17.5 seconds. There's also this nice little feature that tells you on your average kill how much damage can you expect to be taken. That is about 2.7 damage per kill. I've only got about 41 HP, so I'm gonna run out fairly quickly. Before even considering a way to get food, and we'll get to that later, I need to get this number down at least below a value of 2. And there's 2 ways to get this value down. Either increasing your defense against the attacks that you're taking, or killing the enemy quicker. The defense level itself doesn't actually impact your magic defense that much. It is a part of it, but not that much. Your actual magic level is much more important. And we need to get magic level 55 anyway, so let's say that we're magic level 50. We already are down to only taking 2.1 damage per kill now. But in reality, we're only level 36, so what is the other option? The other option is killing the enemies faster. There's 3 ways to do that: dealing more damage, dealing damage more quickly, and dealing more accurate damage. And there actually is an option for me that does all 3 of these things at the same time. Right now, we're using a staff, and that is better than just kicking, but a staff is a 5-tick weapon. So only once every 5 ticks, which is 3 seconds, do we do an attack. If we would, for instance, get the Steel Scimitar, which is a drop that we're supposed to get from the lesser demon anyway, our attack speed goes down to 4 ticks, which is 2.4 seconds. So that is a significant amount faster. Without even leveling up, our max hits will increase. And since it actually is a melee weapon, it also has a proper attack bonus to go with it. So our slashing accuracy will be a bunch higher as well. So if we then set it to using slash, we can now see that our DPS has gone up to 1.3 just killing this thing faster saves me more damage than increasing my defense does. So getting the steel scimitar by itself right now would get me under an average damage taken per kill of 2. And that is the goal that I want to get to before I start taking these guys head on. And the steel scimitar is the most reliable weapon that we can get, but it isn't even the best. There's options for us that are better than the steel scimitar, but they require a little bit more luck. Hold on, I figured just for a little bit of fun, I would try to do Monster Examine, even though it's a members-only spell, because I noticed that Crossbow Enchantment, being a member-only spell that I have the level for, has this little lock on it. This one doesn't, and since I'm bypassing, due to a bug, the level requirement, maybe I can cast it. And you can! You can cast a spell as long as you're under the level required. You might be able to cast at level 42 as well, for all I know, even if you're in the free-to-play world. That is wild. It's really weird. Alright, having gotten a air rune drop, I actually want to talk about which spell to use to kill the demon with, because there's kind of two sides to this whole story, and I need to hop a world. Because in terms of efficiency, you can either have the most experience efficient cast that you can get, which is getting much more experience due to the higher damage and higher base experience with the bolt spells, obviously requiring a chaos rune, but those also require 2 of the corresponding elemental runes, 2 water runes, 2 air runes. So here's the kicker. They don't actually deal twice as much damage. So if we're going for a purely damage efficiency perspective, it is much better to use the strike spell. What a strike's max hit, once you get up to level 13 magic, is 8. What a bolt's max hit, once you get up to level 35 magic, is 12. Now, obviously, that means that your DPS will be higher, but your DPR, your damage per rune, so to say, is significantly lower with higher tier spells. So if we want to conserve as many runes as humanly possible, what we actually want to do is we want to be using Water Strike specifically on the lesser demon. It is a little dodgy on whether or not I'm going to be able to get in a second kill, and even if I did, the chances of me still having telegrab afterwards are a little slim, so I'm going to be waiting for one more drop of air runes before I try again. But that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 2 days, where you haven't seen a lot of clips, is just farming runes, doing 1 kill at a time, and eventually, hopefully, I get a drop that is going to allow me to speed up this entire grind by a lot. This is huge. This is the reason that I went to a free-to-play world, and actually I'm on a members world right now, so I got super lucky. Quizmaster is potentially a equally powerful random event as the maze. So I am super excited to go and take part in this quiz. After picking 4 odd one out questions, I get the choice between 1,000 coins or a mystery box. The mystery box holds the key to potentially making my wizard grind so much smoother. There is one fairly simple drop that I can get from this mystery box in 1 in 15, which is a mithril scimitar. This doesn't only immediately give me a better weapon, it also means that I don't need to get the steel scimitar necessarily anymore as my best in slots, because I already have a straight up better version of it. And of course, it is a better weapon than I can get in any other way inside of this chunk. So let's open up this mystery box, and we got a cabbage. Well, could have seen that coming. Now that we've done that, I want to talk to you about random events a little bit. Because 2 of the main strategies that I am relying on to speed up the grind for this chunk both rely on random events. The Quizmaster that we just did and I just explained, and then there's also the maze random events. There's a total of 24 types of random events that you can get every hour or 2 during your game time. But actually 2 of those only happen if you remember. And those 2 are getting a potion, which largely is useless to us, and the strange plant random event, which also entirely useless to us. So if I can avoid those 2 random events, my chances of landing specifically a maze random event would go up from 1 in 24 to 1 in 22. The odds of me landing either a maze random event or a Quizmaster random event go up to 1 in 11. And if we even take into account everything that can either right away or eventually start giving me XP lamps, the odds that a random event starts being in my favor become pretty good once we take away the 2 random events that I actively don't want. So that is reason number 1 as to why I have been playing on free-to-play servers, because I won't be getting member random events. But it goes one step deeper than that. Once I actually get a maze random, you've already seen me in the last episode opening the chest within the maze over and over and over again. What ends up happening though is I actually get quite a lot of attack and defense potions, which are member-only items. So, by doing that random event in a free-to-play world, I cannot get those drops, meaning that I actually get more rune drops, which is the thing that I actually want. So, both the chances of me getting a random event that I want increase, and then when I get a random event that I want, the chances of me actually gaining something that I want out of it become bigger as well. There's one little thing to keep in mind though, is the Quizmaster random event gives you this mystery box. And if I open this in a free-to-play world, it actually doesn't give me anything useful at all. At most, it can give me an experience lamp. But as far as I understand it, I can gain that mystery box in a free-to-play world, then take it over to the members world and get the member loot table from it, which, as described before, contains the Mithril Scimitar in 1 in 15 chance. Now, before we continue on and try to get all that, I've been kind of blown away by the reception for the first 2 videos. You guys literally showed up in the thousands, and the channel is already at over 500 subscribers at just 2 videos. So, if you want to keep up to date with every single new upload, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you want to stay up to date. I'm trying to get a video out every 2 weeks for as long as I can manage it, but obviously eventually we'll run into chunk tasks that I just simply cannot complete within that time frame. But for the time being, it seems entirely possible to at least keep that up for a while. Now, let's get back into it. You know what time it is? We've got 17 water runes, which hopefully will be enough, 30 air runes. It's time to do another demon kill. Which this demon kill is actually gonna get me a magic level on top of everything, well, which is super neat. Because it's going to get me to level 37, which technically is a little more magic defense once again. Don't think that unlocks any useful spells for us. Thunderbolt teleport. No, that's not useful. And then, hopefully, this will just be the drop. This is going to be the drop. I can feel it. This is going to be it. This is going to be the one. This is going to be... That's actually something that I want to grab. It's a little weird. Superheat item is going to be a thing that we eventually unlock. I don't know if I'm going to keep this around for that long. But being able to even cast a single superheat would probably be some pretty good XP. This might actually be relevant. I can't then use it for anything, so after that I will definitely elk it. I am half asleep back here, so let's just go do 1 demon kill and then we'll pick back up tomorrow. I can flick this prayer to do a little bit more accurate damage, which... I guess I might as well just do it, as long as I just lazy flick it. It shouldn't take any prayer points. That is just about 60 fire runes again. I have more fire runes than I know what to do with, but again, just a reason to use Telegrab. I've got plenty of lore runes, I'll be fine. And this is a fairly special moment. This is wizard kill number 2,000. It's a little over 2,000 actually, because I killed about 200 or so wizards on another instance. But let's just pretend like this is 2,000 because that's what my drop tracker is telling me. So I figured I would do this one as a clip on video. And then I also have enough runes to probably get about 1 demon kill in. So we're going to just attach that to this as well. And who knows, maybe after getting 2,000 kills, I finally get an axe or a scimitar or anything at all at this point, really. Let's see if we can get lucky with this drop. Damn it! Nothing again. Well, back to more kills we go. Turns out my recording wasn't running. I just had a random event and I got an XP lamp. So we got a little bit of magic experience. And I noticed that I've probably got enough runes here for another kill. And there's actually a dude killing him. Turns out people in free-to-play worlds actually kill this thing. Wow, who would have thought? My RNG on these water balls is horrendous. I actually hit a lot of 1s and 2s there, and I got a better drop than last time. I got 200 coins. So yeah, I for sure don't have enough water runes, turns out, but that's okay. We can just move over to... I think Fire Strike doesn't deal less damage to demons, so for experience that is... Well, actually, no, stop. Fire Strike actually takes up more air runes. Don't do that. Earth Strike. Just use Earth. Fire Strike's bad. We don't use Fire Strike around here. Don't do that. And that is a second kill, which... I'll take some Chaos Runes, that's good enough. And we get nothing. There's literally 4 guys here trying to kill this. What the hell is going on in free-to-play worlds? What are you people up to? What do you do? So as I was trying to record a clip, it's 11 PM now. It's going to be the last demon kill of the day. It would be poetic if this was the one that got me something. I got steel axe. Oh my god! Oh my god! We have one of them. We've got one. This is actually huge. Let's equip it. Wield the steel weapon. Actually, since regenerating my chunk tasks with the proper extreme 1 chunk rules, it seems like the steel axe isn't part of my chunk tasks anymore. It seems like it doesn't consider flinching weapons, maybe, as best in slot items anymore. So, it's not a chunk task at all. It's still steel weapon. I've got a steel weapon now. Let's have a look at its stats. It's got melee strength +9 versus melee strength +3. So, that instantly gets me a new max hit, which is fantastic. It's also got a slash bonus of +8. Compared to Crush +7, which actually isn't that different, all things considered. So I'm going to want to use this thing on Slash. I need to do some DPS calculating, whether or not this is the upgrade that I needed still, because all my calculations so far have been assuming that I would get the scimitar. I need to recheck some things to see if the axe still gets me where I need to be. Okay, here we are back in the DPS checker. I can do a max hit of 7, my DPS is about 1. The biggest downside here being that the steel axe still is a 5-tick weapon instead of a 4-tick weapon, which a lot of the damage increase from getting a scimitar was the increase in attack speed. So my damage taken per kill still is about 2.4. I don't upgrade my max hit to 8 until getting 58 strength, which... my god, hopefully by the time we get there, I will be long gone from this chunk. This should allow me to pretty effectively start killing these guys. More or less, without needing to flinch them, pretty soon. There's just one massive issue to go, and that is the fact that I cannot regenerate health. There's even these 3 log spawns right here in the tower, but I can't turn them into a fire because I don't have a tinderbox. But what if something like this were to just happen to exist? Somebody else lighting a fire for me. Now, even though I didn't light the fire, and even though I am an Iron Man, the game fully allows me to use fires to cook food. So I can gain cooking experience, first and foremost, that's interesting. If I had some more inventory space, I could just farm up a couple of chickens, cook them, and on average I could get almost an entire wizard kill per cooked chicken. Between the natural regeneration of 1 HP per minute that I get anyway, and being boosted by a couple of chickens in my inventory, it starts being reasonable to just kill a couple of these guys, and after a kill, eat up. Now, obviously, to make that work at all, I need more inventory space, because right now I just don't have the space in my inventory to carry around a bunch of this stuff. So, I can't drop any of the random event stuff, because dropping these means that I need to re-get them, and I really don't want to do that. So I need to start considering which of these items do I drop. Grimy Toad Flax? I'm sorry, but by the time this is going to be even remotely useful for me, I don't know when that'll be. I'm going to be dropping this. Kind of the same goes for the emeralds, and especially the diamonds. I'm actually also going to be dropping the feathers, not because they're useless to me. They might actually be quite useful to me in the somewhat near future as I start unlocking Fletching, but they're super easy to re-get. So I'm just going to drop those as well. Now we get into iron arrows and bronze bolts. Now these are a little more interesting, aren't they? Because these are a very limited resource. But I would actually argue that because they are a non-renewable resource for me, there's no reason for me to try to rely on these in any way, shape or form. So I'm going to be dropping these as well, which frees up quite a bit of inventory space already. So now let's look at all of the runes that we have. We've got earth runes, we've got fire runes, we've got blood runes, lore runes, water runes, air runes, chaos runes, mind runes, body runes, and nature runes. Now, the nature runes I'm just going to end up using, so that's more or less fine. Actually, I can use those probably on high alching the brewing chickens, which is going to probably just give me 1 GP each, but it's more about the experience anyway. So the nature runes probably won't exist in my inventory for long periods of time anyway. I straight up cannot drop the staff because it's part of my chunk tasks. And then we've got the gold ore. The gold ore that I've been keeping in my inventory for a while because I want to be able to superheat it at level 43. I actually don't think it's worth the inventory slot at this point, so I probably should have allocated that. I'm just going to drop it instead. I'm going to keep the money because the money is probably going to be a nice start in our next chunk, and as much as it hurts me, there's no reason for me to be carrying blood runes. The earliest I could potentially even think about using blood runes would be level 62. I hope to all that is holy that I'm not gonna get to level 62 within this chunk. Even getting to level 55, which is a chunk task, is gonna be a massive accomplishment. Going from that to level 62 doesn't seem like that much, but it's actually double the amount of experience. There's no way we're gonna get there. So these, again, it hurts me deep in my soul, but they're getting dropped. So that leaves us now with a total 12 inventory slots. So what I can do now is I can go down and kill 12 chickens back to back to back and have some food for a little while to keep me going, killing some more wizards. So we got a weapon, we got food, the grind just got better.